Hi, it's Amy from Select Travel Holidays, and I hope you're still enjoying our virtual touring and destinations festival. In this presentation we're going to head over across the Atlantic to the New World, particularly looking at USA and also Canada. Both of these countries offer some of the most incredible experiences that you could possibly ask for, and there's almost something for everyone, whether you're looking to go to the iconic Rockies of Canada, or you want to listen to jazz or country music or rock and roll, one of the America's great music cities of the South. Or perhaps you just want to admire the beautiful fall colours of New England. There's so many things that you can see or do on this great continent, things that you can experience. Of course, you can travel to North America by yourself. You could have it, we could tailor-make an itinerary for you, perhaps as a self-drive along, for example, the Pacific coast, which Rachel did a few years ago, or the famous Route 66. But for many people, a lot of the joy of travel is to share those moments with other people, and that's largely what we're focusing on throughout this festival, of course, is it's touring as well as destinations. So to showcase the USA and Canada, we've asked Collette to introduce us to, their homeland really. Collette, you might not know them, but they're well established across the pond, having been operating for over 100 years, and they're still a family-run business. So they offer incredible quality tours, and they can take you anywhere around the world, and they do have a number of different travel styles. But we've asked them to showcase their US and Canada collection, because they really know these countries intimately, and they have some incredible itineraries, some really, I think, a lot of insider access, some real VIP experiences that can be had on a Collette tour of the US and Canada. So we're doing this presentation a little bit differently, because we're joined by some of their tour managers, not just the American and Canadian ones. Firstly, some of Collette's tour managers from across the world are going to explain to us what they love about being a tour manager.
Something that's most fulfilling for me in my job as a tour manager is seeing the excitement in people's faces, something that they've longed to see.
It broadens up your mind. There are things you can learn by traveling that you will never be able to learn from a book. It just makes the world smaller.
I just couldn't believe there was a real job called tour managing, where you get to travel and go around the world and visit all these places with all these people. And I said, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Sign me up for that.
I'm passionate about the travel because I like to share the knowledge about my country, my region, to all the passengers around the world.
I like to be with them, be surrounded by people, and get on the bus, pick up the microphone, explain what we have, get them excited with the destination. It's like promoting my culture. I feel very proud of it.
As a tour manager, every year you get to show new things and new discoveries to hundreds of people, our guests. It keeps the world fresh and new for me.
When we go to other places in the world, we can see how not everyone lives the way that we do, and that helps us to understand our differences, but also we find the commonalities in the human experience. And that's really why I love traveling myself and being a tour manager.
I think a lot of us get into it because we are so interested in travel, but you quickly realize that it's 100% about the people on the tour, and building relationships with them and getting to hear their stories and knowing that you're getting to share your story and your background with them. That's what makes you do it over and over again, because you could go travel on your own, but to do this job, it's about the people.
Well, I really hope you enjoyed that little snippet. It's always great to have insight from tour managers. Personally, I think that they really make a touring holiday, to be honest. It's often what makes it so special, and it's not just who you're traveling with, but also who's leading you, and they do such an incredible job in my experience. So it's great to have a little insight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. But we're also going to hear a little bit more from some of their American and Canadian tour managers, who are going to actually almost, I think, like introduce us to their homes, really. They're going to show us what they love most about when they're taking guests around their particular region, what really sort of sets what they think makes their region so special. And they're also going to share some of their personal highlights that they always love showing guests on tours.
Being a Southerner, I'm always surprised when guests come to my region and say that they've never been there before. They had no idea what beauty was encompassed in the Southeast and what diversity. It's not just one region that is all exactly the same. My name is Wesley Glass, and I guide in Washington, D.C. in the southeastern United States. One of the experiences our guests enjoy the most on our new Bluegrass and Smoky Mountains tour is our private horse farm tours. We have a guide that has a personal connection with all these horse farms and takes us on this behind-the-scenes tour. It's really a VIP experience that other people aren't getting to do. Another experience I enjoy is on our Southern Charm tour when I get to take our guests to Jekyll Island. Our accommodations are top-notch because we're staying in the old clubhouse and mansions, so it's kind of a little Southern elegance and regalness that they get to experience on tour. You have so much difference in places like Nashville, New Orleans, the Smoky Mountains, Louisville. And so when I talk to people, I say, if you think you've seen the entire US and you haven't come to the Southeast, you're missing out. If I could invite our guests to come and experience one tour with me, that'd be America's Music Cities. I think one wow factor for the guests on that tour, when they come to New Orleans, the fact that we are staying across the street from the French Quarters, they're getting to walk and experience it. They're getting to be on the streets with the people that live here, experiencing the city the way that they do. And I think one thing that anyone can bond with someone over, it's the love of music.
Our tours in the northeastern U.S. are great because you not only get beautiful scenery and countryside, but also there are tours that cover some of the most dynamic cities in the world. I'm Mark Pascucci, and I'm a tour manager in the northeastern U.S. Whenever I bring guests on tours like Mackinac Island, for instance, they are always surprised by the magnificence of Chicago and what a cool city it is, and they're always also pleasantly taken aback by the beautiful Great Lakes. They really are amazed. In the fall, we offer a great tour called Colors of New England. From the beautiful mountain scenery to the rugged coast of Maine to the magnificence of the city of Boston, this tour is all about what New England's all about. One of the great things about the northeastern U.S. is that we have 4 distinct seasons, and we have great tours for each one of those seasons.
It really starts off with the scenery. It's some of the most majestic, spectacular scenery really anywhere in the world. Hi, my name is Derek Moscarelli, and I guide tours in the National Parks region of America. One of my favorite experiences that I like to share is taking the groups down to Zion Canyon. Zion's a little unique that we are allowed to actually go down into the bottom of the canyon and visit this national park from the bottom, the canyon floor. Another favorite is to visit the national parks of Utah, and on our new Painted Canyons of the West tour, we visit all 5 of Utah's national parks. This is beautiful, unspoiled scenery. It really gets you away from the big cities and traffic and congestion, and you get to see some of the most spectacular and just majestic places that we have in the good old US of A. If there's one place you want to visit, National Parks of America, you will love it.
I think everyone should come to Canada. There is something for everyone. There's lots of culture, great food, and it is so varied as well. My name is Maryse Blouin, and I lead tours in Canada. You know, it's hard to find words to do the Rockies justice. They're breathtaking. The color of the lakes, the turquoise blue, the wildlife that you can see. Often guests will tell me, I don't know how you're going to outdo yourself tomorrow. And then the next day they tell me the same thing again. The Canadian Rockies have something special. Another great experience is bringing people to Old Quebec City. Everyone falls in love with Old Quebec. It's absolutely charming, and it's as close as you can get to the European flavor without crossing the Atlantic. So really, everyone should come to Canada. You've got to experience it. You won't be disappointed.
My name is Abby Pontynen. I'm a tour manager with Collette for 5 years now, and I am originally from Michigan. If I had to invite my guests to take one tour, Pacific Northwest, absolutely. This is a place that's deeply personal to me. This is a place where my great-great-great-grandfather walked the Oregon Trail, settled out in the valley. If I were asked to describe the Pacific Northwest tour, one word, variety. Because there's no 2 days that are the same. You go from cities to the mountains, from the mountain to the gorge, from the gorge to the beaches, from the beaches to the Redwoods, from the Redwoods to San Francisco. There's just constant variety. Every day is different. And that's not always possible on tours, but is on this one.
So I think it was great to share some of what Collette's tour directors love. But we're also going to have the lovely Lucy from Collette. You might also, if you saw the virtual cruise festival, you'll probably recognise her because she does have quite a few different hats. But now she's got her, I would say her cowboy hat on, but she's got her Collette hat on. And she's going to introduce us to Collette. We've obviously had a bit of an idea on what we can expect from their tour managers, but we're going to have a look at Collette. We're going to look at who they are. We're going to look at how they can offer you flexibility and personalisation on their tours, and you know, so it's not just one size fits all. And Lucy's going to show us some of their top tours for the US and Canada. So we might have seen a little snippet of some of them, but we're going to look a bit more in depth now. So I really hope that you've so far enjoyed what we've seen in this presentation. I think it's given us some fantastic flavours of what to expect on a tour, not only with Collette specifically, but also in America and Canada. So let's let Lucy take it from here.
Hello to you all, and welcome to the Collette Escorted Touring presentation today. I am going to focus predominantly on USA and Canada. However, as a company, they cover all of the continents and they provide some amazing experiences, and taking you, particularly in the USA, taking you to parts of the country that you perhaps would not normally get to see with other tour operators, because this is their homeland, this is where they're from. Obviously now with the COVID, everything has, you know, we've had to develop and change some of the ways they operate the escorted tours, and that is still not going to have an effect on your experience, because you know, you are going to have sort of maybe social distancing. The group numbers will be much smaller than they're normally only about 30 people anyway, but you'll find the groups will be smaller, and therefore, you know, not really interrupting with the experiences that you will have on these trips. Peace of mind. Now with Collette, they do guarantee departures. So if you speak to Cruise Select, they can check which are with us, the ones that are guaranteed to go, whether they have 2 or 20 people. They do have other dates, but sometimes if they haven't got many people on them, they may cancel them. But pretty much 80% of their trips will go. The beauty is as well that 93% of Collette's touring customers come back again because they have such a wonderful trip. Also, they're offering flexible touring pacing, which means that, you know, you can actually, if you want to be a bit more active, some of the excursions that are included, you can choose from different levels. So, you know, depending on your own capabilities. Also, they leave quite a lot of time for you, so that, you know, if you don't want to do all of the trips, then you've got your own free time where you can go and explore yourself. So it's the beauty of having both the escorted side, but also time for you to enjoy the destinations for perhaps some of the things that you would prefer to do. Obviously, well-being, the team, there's a lot of pre-screening now with COVID, so you can be assured that they are well up to date with all the new protocols. Particularly, most of our customers will be flying, so you know, when it's safe to do so, then you will be able to have your vaccine and then be able to travel in safety. Like I said, it will be smaller groups now with COVID, but it's very much about the on-tour experiences. And, you know, even with the COVID, what they're doing is working to still give you those experiences, but with social distancing. So obviously the face coverings, the tour managers, they've all now been highly trained to manage the new protocols and how they communicate with the guests. The coaches, they're sanitized all the time, and the hotels, obviously, they very much have their their own protocols too. The hotels that will be used will be very much 4-star and above, and they are usually in the best locations for the destinations that you're going. If you're looking at, say, a New York trip, you're right downtown in the middle of the action. They have been around for 102 years, family-run business, and they're very secure, and they've got the experience of providing all those wonderful dreams for you. And in the States, some of the trips they do, you'll get to see the key cities and towns, or the wonderful scenery in the park. So it's going to tick off a lot of boxes for you. This is father and daughter. Dan is the CEO, and his daughter is Jocelyn, is very much the president, and they're very involved with day to day. They know exactly what's happening. But that's it with the family business, that they have the handle on the reins, so to speak, and they have a 24/7 customer service. Now, they are escorted, but like I say, you have flexible time, so that if there are things, maybe you want to go and visit a garden somewhere, but it's not one of the trips, then you can go off and do that. It's giving you that flexibility. Your accommodation, as I say, is 4-star and above. Quite a lot of the meals are included, particularly when there is a culinary experience, or a cooking class, or home hosted meals. And these are the kind of things where you're immersed in the destination, you're getting to know the local people. And I think that's what touring is all about, is really getting to know the local people. There are a lot of different excursions, and you can choose the level of those, and you have a lot of the culinary experiences. Different types of travel that they do, although I'm not going to cover all of them today, but the small group, the exploration, those are more for safari. Classic, a lot of the USA trips are the classic type. Spotlight, these are escorted tours, but you're in one place, you're not moving around like on the other US tours. And river cruise, I'm not going to touch on that today because that's just in Europe. So let's start USA and Canada. I've picked out the most popular itineraries that Collette offer, and the ones that a lot of customers take. Excuse me. The Canyon Country. Now, this is one of the top tours, and those iconic sites from cowboy movies, Monument Valley, the Grand Canyon, all those rich red rock formations, you're kind of looking back in time as you see millions of years of rock carved out by that, on the Grand Canyon. And you actually, on one of these trips, will stay at the south rim of the Grand Canyon, which is as close as you can get to it. So, you'll wake up in the morning and be able to see it. The hotels are chosen really to enhance the experience of that tour. And then another highlight for this trip is breakfast cruise across beautiful Lake Powell. Again, something that you perhaps wouldn't do normally. It does end up in Vegas, and you can extend in Vegas if you want. The 8 days, this is a tour. These prices are all the tour only with the inclusions. However, speak to Cruise Select, because then they can tailor make it. We can cost it all in. So if you want to stay pre and post, or you want flights, or you want to, go somewhere else before, talk to them, and we can always work that out for you and give you one price. But the tour itself, escorted tour, you can see there is a very reasonable price, $2,349 for your 8 days, and that's your accommodation, and you've got 10 meals and all those wonderful places that you're getting to see. This is a great way to see the Hawaiian Islands on your Hawaiian adventure, 10 days. You're going to start in Waikiki, which is on Hawaii, and you're going to travel to Maui, Oahu, And then you're going to get to see Pearl Harbor, the Volcano National Park. But by visiting Kona, this island, you're going to find out the incredible relationship that they have with growing coffee, because this is where one of the famous coffee growing areas. But really savor the Polynesian luau, as they say, with tropical drinks and a sumptuous feast. So, you know, again, it's a great way, as I say, and an easy way to visit the Hawaiian Islands and really get to understand the culture and enjoy those beautiful, a bit of the Pacific, really. Now this is one, America's cowboy country. This is really a great experience if you want to get really to see those American cowboys. 8 days and 2149, that's the tour, with some of your meals included. But you're going to go to Yellowstone, the incredible national park, which is one of the largest. You're going to learn about the national park program and the various conservation and funding that happens. They've reintroduced the grey wolf into some of these areas. You'll get to learn about those, but you'll see some of these huge animals like the bison, elk and the moose and the grizzly bears, but don't get too close to those grizzly bears. You'll actually be, you know, it's all about the scenery here. You'll go to the Crazy Horse Memorial mountain sculpture, but a highlight is a traditional chuck wagon dinner, which is just a great evening entertainment. Great food, traditional barbecue, live singing, really entertaining and something different. You'll stay in Jackson Hole, and you'll have a free time for a hike if you want, and there's some great restaurants there. Highly recommend it. Comes the $1 Million Cowboy Bar if you like a good steak, and the bar's seats are all horse saddles. So that's what I say about really getting you into cowboy country. You'll learn about the troubles the original pioneers faced when they journeyed through to the west, when they got through to this region. So, you know, again, another cultural experience, and you'll just have a wonderful time. Again, tailor make it to whatever you need. So talk to Cruise Select. The Colorado Rockies, 9 days, and you get 11 meals, and it starts at $2299. This is just really, you start in Denver and the Rocky Mountain National Park. Again, all about the scenery. You're going to visit some more of the national parks and visit an authentic cowboy town where you can step back in time to the Wild West again. And you train ride along the narrow gorge, which is what you can see there. So again, something very different, but you're, you know, staying in DoubleTrees, Sheratons. So again, really top class hotels. And that's what you want when you are in, you know, doing these escorted tours, but you're right in the heart of these towns and cities. The national parks, this is 14 days and it's quite a long one. So I would say it's the most intensive national park itinerary that you'll probably come across. You go from the Grand Canyon up to the Rocky Mountain National Park and the Badlands. You actually meet Native Americans and learn about their relationship with the land. A great itinerary, but it is quite, you do need quite a lot of stamina on this because it is 14 days and there are quite a few one-night stays, but it does mean that you can tick off some amazing, incredible sites in the Midwest and those iconic national parks. So, you know, but you'll have quite a bit of time to free time in the evening where you can explore some of these places yourself. And that's the beauty, as I say, of these trips, because it's not all follow my leader. You do have the tour manager there. Tour managers can recommend, you know, if you have got free time, they are, you know, experts in these areas. And I'm sure you may have seen the video that was played earlier by Cruise Select, and they talk about some of the highlights for these trips. Now we come to America's music cities. Now this is definitely on my bucket list. This is a trip that takes you New Orleans, Memphis, Nashville, all those wonderful American cities that created some of our music for us. It's all about the food and the music, jazz in New Orleans, the blues in Memphis, and the country in Nashville. You stay at Gaylord Opryland Resort, which is an incredible hotel. You see Graceland stay at the guest honor hour at Graceland. And also you have reserved seats at the Grand Ole Opry, which is one of the oldest institutions in America with live music and being played by some of the most famous artists in America. And so you get to watch a live show. So incredible. You also, for those, well, maybe some of the females as well, you visit a whiskey distillery and have a tour around, and then you have a swamp tour in Louisiana. Just don't put your hands over the edge because you get to see all those alligators. Again, you know, wonderful experiences staying at the Sheraton, like I say, some of these top class hotels. And in New Orleans, you'll get to enjoy a walking tour of the French Quarter. And then you'll have some wonderful food, Creole delights at the French Quarter in a restaurant. So that's what I say about when, you know, you're on some of these tours, the meals that you get are those culinary delights that, you know, because the tour managers and Collette have picked out the restaurants they feel are the best in those areas. So, you know, you will have a wonderful, wonderful time on this trip and listening to all that fabulous music. Now, spotlight on New York City. Like I say, the spotlight trips, they are shorter, but you still get your escorted, you know, you still have your tour manager escorting you, but you're in one place. You're not going to be moving around. And it's great as a city break on its own. You stay in a central hotel in Times Square. A lot of the must-see sites, obviously, is Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island, the 9/11 Memorial, Freedom Tower, and the art museums. A dine-around dinner is one of the things that they'll have, but also you can enjoy breakfast at the famous Ellen Stardust Diner. Now, I don't know if anyone's been to New York. I have been there. This is an amazing, an amazing place to eat. Food is very diner, but it's the atmosphere. You've got all the budding Broadway stars that come to be discovered, and they're the ones that are serving you, but they're standing on the tables, they're singing and dancing, and they're, you know, hoping to be discovered. And in fact, I think when I went there, they said that year about 75 people have been discovered and put in Broadway shows. So again, it's an experience and it's a fun experience. And you'll have Broadway shows included. So, you know, these are some of the things you get included, but you might want to have a wander yourself around Central Park. So again, it's that flexibility of having some things organized for you, but then you can actually be, you know, independent and go and see some of the things that you may have an interest in. The islands of New England. We've all, this is, you know, Providence, Newport, Princetown, Nantucket, some of these fabulous little places that perhaps we've been to, you know, Boston, but we've never quite ventured out further. So again, this is a great tour, 8 days, starting at $1999, you know, just for the tour on its own. But, you know, for that price, you can build in maybe a stay in Boston, or you can stay maybe the other end at Nantucket. So it's all about, again, getting to know where, you know, the original settlers came and they landed in America, Plymouth Rock, stepping back in time. You visit a working cranberry bog in Cape Cod and learn how the fruit is sourced, picked and used. So again, something very different. Whale watching cruise or a sand dune tour. You have a cookery demonstration and a lobster dinner in Cape Cod. Now that's something that I think is a must for everybody. Those amazing New England lobsters. And you visit the incredible area and spectacular properties in Newport, Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket. you know, some great little islands off the coast there. So, you know, again, ticking off a lot of those boxes and getting to see quite a lot of the USA and places that, you know, it's made easy for you by having the tour manager there and being organized. But again, with flexible time for yourself. Finally, this tour, the Best of Eastern Canada, 8 days. This is one of, again, a very popular tour because you're actually seeing one of the most spectacular sights in the world, really, Niagara Falls. And you're visiting these cities like Quebec, Toronto, Ottawa. You do a wine tour and tasting in Ontario. Now, we don't actually associate Canada with wine, but great to go and try some of their wines. You go to the Sugar Shack and have an intense sugar hit, you know, traditionally tapped maple, which is amazing. But you stay in some great hotels, the Westin and Omni. You try out traditional poutine in Toronto, which us Brits, I'm sure we'll all love it. It's chips with a unique gravy and cheese curd. So not good for the figure, but then you can certainly walk it off somewhere. And learn about the French inspiration in this part of Canada. So again, immersing you in those destinations, but finding out a lot more about the culture and, you know, what their traditions are. So those are just a few of the tours that Collette offer in the USA and Canada. If there are any others that, you know, other destinations, then Cruise Select can always look at the website and pick out some further ones. But these are really the top ones that seem to be more popular from the UK. Just want to thank you very much for listening and hope that you've enjoyed yourself, and have a good week and take care. Thank you very much.
Well, I really hope you've enjoyed our presentation, thanks to both Lucy and Collette's tour directors. Hope it's given you a real sort of insight, and I hope you've enjoyed it. But of course, if you would like to find out any other information about Collette or travelling to the US or Canada, Team Select, you know, we'd always love to help. So give us a call on 01 234 326 778 or email us sales@cruiseselect.co.uk. So I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Like I say, it's a little bit different, but I think it really sort of brought it alive, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. But for now, take care, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the festival.